What's up, Instagram? Welcome back to the We Are Just Dating page. My name is Tim. This is my beautiful wife, Pauline, and we are excited for y'all to join us on another video. Today is Tuesday, so that means it's question of the day where we answer your anonymous questions that you send to us. And we're excited. We got a question locked and loaded. We ready to go. We're not playing games today. Let's go. What we got?
Yes. So the question of the day is, how do you know when guys are flirting with you or if they are just being nice? I am a naturally kind person, so I usually don't like ignoring people's messages. However, I think by me responding gives guys some hope that I may be interested when I am not. I do my best to keep it short and not show any interest. As a believer, is it rude to not respond at all? What do you think?
This is a good question. Good question. She's trying not to be a bad person, but at the same time, she ain't got time for all these dudes that may be coming at her that she don't have an interest in, which I can respect. So I will say this. How do you know, because she asked two questions. First question, how do you know if a guy likes you or if they're flirting? I'll say this. How you know a guy truly likes you and is worth your time is, are they pursuing you? Because as men, we're meant to pursue. That's how we like. This man got 30 pairs of Jordans, but he ain't never asked you out. Clearly, he can pursue things that he wants. So we have to be mindful of that. And, well, not we, because I'm a guy, but you as women have to be mindful. What is this guy doing? Is he just talking the talk? Like, is he just messaging me on Instagram? Is he just texting me saying he likes me, but he's never actually asked me out on a date, or he's never done anything to show true interest? That's something I would be cautious of. So if they're not doing that, I wouldn't even worry about if they're trying to pursue you or not, because they clearly aren't. So either take it as they're being just too nice, or take it as they just don't know how to pursue you in the way that you are worthy of. I'll say that. Now, the second question, what was the second part?
The second part of the question is, as a believer, is it rude to not respond at all?
Great question. I don't think so. And I think context matters to everything, right? Obviously, if Pauline came up to me right now and asked me a question and I just straight up ignored her, that's rude, right? But if someone I don't know, random creepo on Instagram DMs me, I don't have to respond to that.
Especially if they're disrespectful and like what they're
Absolutely
saying.
not. Or if someone texts me, we're not even really cool like that. How'd you get my number? First of all, no, you don't have to respond. Now, like I said, context does matter. So if this is someone you're friends with or someone that you did give your number to and you engaged with them a little bit already, you can choose to respond and be like, hey, sorry if I led you on. That was my bad. Because that's some grown-up stuff. We about that grown-up talk here. So grown-ups apologize, right? Emotionally healthy people apologize. So if you know you maybe led a dude on, you can go back and look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. I just see you as a friend. Let's keep it that way. You can do that. Or you can just not respond. And that is what it is. There's no biblical passage. And Jesus said, you must text back. That's not there. So I think it's really about the heart. If you're ignoring somebody out of spite, that's not good, because that's not good for you. But if you're ignoring just because you don't got time, you're out here grinding, hustling, doing your thing, to me, I don't see a problem.
God does say for us to treat other people the way we want to be treated, though. So if a guy is kind to you and is, approaching you with respect and honor, and I think you should be respectful and honoring to him back and say, hey, thank you so much for your interest and for you asking me out. Even though I feel like this particular question isn't something as clear as asking out.
Right, that's why I didn't respond like that. But in your scenario, you're absolutely correct.
You should be respectful and say thank you so much, but I'm really not interested, or I don't see this going anywhere. But if he's not being clear and how he's approaching you, that for me is a turnoff. So my kind of answer to this is,
you're turning me off. You're turning. Sorry, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Throwback. But yeah, But when I was single, I would take the approach of, I never thought a guy liked me until he outrightly said it. Even when Tim and I were like in that 2 weeks of like just texting and like flirting and stuff, I was like, I don't think I'm not going to take it as he likes me until he comes out and says like, hey, I'm interested in getting to know you better. And that was the way that I guarded my heart. And that's something else that, the Bible tells us to do, is to guard our heart from the well springs of life flow from that. So I definitely encourage all the women to do that. And my kind of answer to the question of how do you know if a guy is flirting with you, if a guy is flirting with you in a healthy way, if he is giving you more attention than he gives other women. So if he is
bringing that fire, yes, girl, yes.
If he is holding the door for you, if he's greeting you, saying hello, asking you how your day is, I would not think that he's flirting with you. Maybe, and depending on what environment you're in and where you come from, that may be something like special treatment you're not used to seeing. But that just may be a gentleman, and that's awesome. Doesn't mean he likes you though, because if you see him holding the door for other girls and you see him, asking all the girls, hey, how are you? It's good to see you, whatever. Like, I wouldn't take that in any type of way. If you know that he's the type of girl who slides into, if he's the type of guy, who slides into a lot of DMs and he's, texting a lot of girls, I wouldn't take that as being special. You're looking for special treatment. So if your friends are saying like, hey, Tony's paying you a lot of attention, I don't really see him talk to many girls the way he talks to you, that's something maybe you should pay attention to.
That's great advice.
Yeah, but outside of that, because I know it's very confusing for girls out here, because a lot of girls, to be honest, have been mistreated and honestly haven't seen a good example of how a man should treat a woman. So when a man is really treating a woman the way that he should, she feels like, oh, he likes me. And it's like, no, I really do this for all women. I walk all women to their cars.
Yeah.
And for you guys, you got to be careful too, and like, don't be naive and know how you're coming off.
It's tough for some guys. Some guys are just nice. And some guys are players, but some guys are just nice.
Being kind and being flirtatious, it's a thin line. But to me, flirting looks like a lot of extra laughter, a lot of extra attention. I don't think you should be flirting with, a lot of people.
You feel like flirting makes a guy can make some comments about how nice you look and things like they constantly are doing that.
Yeah, giving compliments. Oh, I love your shoes. You look so nice today. Like if I was a guy, or for you guys out there, don't do that unless you're trying to, make a girl feel special. I mean, you can, especially don't say it like one-on-one. If you say it in front of a group and you're telling like, oh, you ladies look so nice today, like that's one thing. But if you're gonna like go out your way to consistently compliment somebody and consistently give them extra attention, so you guys need to be mindful of your behavior. The second part of the question is, like you said, I think you did a good job saying, do you have to respond? No, you don't have to, especially again if it's rude. But if it's somebody you have a relationship with and they're DMing you, I would just hit the like button, say thank you, and move on. If he's like DMing you a lot and he's complimenting your pictures or what you're like posting on stories, that like button will get you out the way and just keep it moving on. No need to make a conversation out of it.
Yeah. And this is kind of going into the practical tip side. As y'all know, every video we're going to give y'all some practical tips, and we're not just going to share random stuff with y'all. But I'll say this. You don't owe anybody anything, right? The Bible tells us to love our neighbors, but just because I am loving my neighbor well doesn't mean I have to respond to him. Shoot, in the Bible, Jesus didn't even necessarily respond right away how people wanted him to respond. They had an assumption. Like, because I do this, you should respond this way. But that doesn't mean that's actually how you need to respond. So just because somebody texts you or reaches out to you doesn't mean you have to respond. They don't own your time. So at the end of the day, you got to figure out, hey, is this worth my time engaging?
Yeah, and for my friends make fun of me all the time, but when I was single, I was notorious for like ignoring guys or just like if they're trying to like holler at you
do that to her
from across the college campus, I would just like kind of like look and keep it going.
What made you respond to me?
We don't need to get into that right now.
Okay.
It's not about you.
Anyway.
Yes.
Any other tips for the people out there?
I think for our single folks out there, I think just treat everybody the same. We kind of went into this earlier, but you want to avoid confusion as much as possible. So if you don't have general tips for how you interact with the opposite sex, we encourage you guys to do that. And we kind of talked about that in the last video about friendships and with the opposite sex, but like have a general time that you don't text or like DM people of the opposite sex. Like 10 p.m. is a good one. So that way they're not thinking that you're like up late thinking about them. It's very strange.
I've been thinking about you.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Even, I would say don't spend one-on-one time with people who aren't in your family of the opposite sex. Like, I wouldn't be going to coffee dates with guys on a regular basis. Like, that's very confusing. So just keep it group date. Keep it public, always, but just make sure you don't want to send mixed signals as much as possible.
Yeah, and last practical tip, for the person who actually asked this question, they said, I'm a nice person. Sometimes you need to realize, and this may free you,
Ooh.
the nicest thing you can do for somebody is not respond. Because when you do, that may actually lead them on when you don't actually have an intention of having any type of relationship with them. So the nice thing you can do sometimes is tell somebody no.
Right. To be unclear is to be unkind. So if you are a kind person, make sure you are clear. Don't lead people on, but also be clear on your intentions and your actions, and don't send mixed signals.
Yeah. So that was question of the day. We are excited. If you have questions, put it in the bio link at the top of the page and we will answer it. Or you can just send us a DM or comment right here on the post. We're excited for all that's happening right here. We are just dating. We'll see y'all next Tuesday.